So, I am Maddie Leroux. I'm a professional cyclist from South Africa, born and raised in Bloemfontein in the Free State. Not many people know where that might be, but it's literally in the middle of South Africa, just close to the Lesotho border. And I guess to really tell my story, I have to kind of start from the beginning. But so basically, I did all of the sports I could imaginably do. So basically, I started with triathlon when I was like 12, 13 years old. And I probably did it for more than 10 years. I remember getting my first bike, and my dad gave me and my sister, so I have a younger sister as well, and he gave us the options. So for me, it was either a bike or a computer. And 12-year-old me thought, hey, what if I win a race with the bike, then I can actually buy my own computer, and then I have both. So I was like, okay, I'll take the bike. But yeah, it wasn't as easy as that. So essentially, I got the bike, did my first road race, as you can see. I just remember this race was like 100 plus Ks. I think I was like, 12, 10 years old. And I rode away from my dad. The plan was to start together, and I was just like, I can do better than this. This is too slow. But then like with 20, 30 or whatever Ks to go, I completely bonked. And I just remember my dad had to feed me so many gels just to get to the finish line. But I've always been a very sporty person, and I can't imagine my life without sport. When I was like 13 years old, my dad got me into triathlon, and after the first event, I was completely hooked. I remember always saying, when people ask me, why do I do triathlon, or why don't I specialize just in one sport? I always said, one sport's just not enough. Like, are you crazy? What do I do with all of my time? Because I was training so much, and essentially, I guess, I really fell in love with training. So I did this for more than 10 years. Did a lot of provincials. I competed on international level at Worlds. Had some good, had some bad results, but ultimately when I moved to the elite level, it became quite difficult to continue it financially. So I tried to do some half Ironman distances, which I actually found quite fun, because swimming has never been my my best discipline. So when I started doing the half Ironman, I was like, this is great. The swimming is just 400 meters further, but the running and the cycling is like double the distance. This is perfect for me. Then COVID hit, and we were stuck inside our homes for who knows how long. I don't even remember. But I remember this is where I started Zwifting. Literally the day before lockdown, a group of guys I cycle with, they organized a trainer for me. So before, I never really used to train indoors. I did a lot of Zwifting throughout the lockdown. I tried to still train for a triathlon, but obviously swimming was quite hard. But I did a half marathon running up and down our 20-meter driveway. Just shows how crazy I got. Then the end of 2020, I started really considering just moving into cycling, and someone introduced me to the Zwift Academy, and I thought, I've got nothing to lose, try. And I got to the semis, but unfortunately didn't make it any further. Obviously very disappointed, but anyway, I'm very big on Strava as well. So if you'd like to follow me, here's the link. So I remember at the beginning of 2021, I was really committed to trying to make something of cycling. And one of the domestic teams in South Africa, they kind of found me on Strava, this crazy chick from Bloemfontein riding way too much on her bike on a daily basis. And yeah, so they recruited me and I started riding for them, which was great. And yeah, by the end of 2021, I finished my university degree in education, and I was at a crossroads where I had to decide, am I going to try and pursue something in sport, or am I gonna look for a job in education? Which basically would mean that I guess growing professional in my sport in cycling would be done. But one of my teammates, she's a good friend of Ashley Moorman-Pascio, and they got to talking, and Ash got me under the radar of the UCI World Cycling Center in Switzerland. And yeah, boom bada bing, I ended up there for 2 seasons, 2 years, living in Switzerland. I mean, it was amazing, 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 amazing. But yeah, we got to the end of 2 years there, and in 2023, and I didn't have a contract. I mean, I essentially came back earlier to South Africa than I was supposed to. Yeah, not to relive that sad story, but I was told by a coach there that I don't have what it takes to make it in the sport, and I should consider doing something else, or maybe even going back to triathlon. And I was like, what? I mean, okay, I know I have great numbers. My numbers have never been the problem. It's more my skills, I guess, in the peloton and my working on my confidence. But yeah, that really was like a knife to the chest. And I just felt like I always try and be a real and authentic person, and I just couldn't pretend that I was okay with this. So I just asked, can I please go home? I cannot pretend to be okay around these people if I'm not. So generally it was a really good experience there. I met some of the greatest people there. I still have contact with some of the staff there, and some of the previous DSs that will forever be my family in Europe, which I hope is not the end of the road. I'd really like to see them again. And that is where also I met my current coach, Terry from Jura Sports. And I mean, if not for him, I don't know where I would be now. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, I guess. So yeah, so I came back earlier, was in a really deep rut. I felt like I'm 26 years old. What the hell am I doing with my life? I'm still living with my parents. I have no stable income. I have no job prospects. I'm like, what the hell am I doing with my life? Because I see the people that I went to varsity with and went to school with, and everyone's married, have children, stepping up in their careers, and here is me. And I'm like, I have no idea which direction my life is going. I don't know what I want to do next. Well, I want to be a professional athlete, but how? I had no way of going forward with it. But that didn't mean I didn't try. So I was pursuing all avenues, literally sending CVs to all the teams I could, be it unrealistic, realistic, I didn't care. I was trying everything, applying for grants and funds, while at the same time, obviously, you have to be realistic. I was sending out CVs to applying for teaching positions here in South Africa. And for almost 2 months, I didn't hear anything from either side. And I was like, wow, great. I'm trying, but nobody wants me. I'm not good enough to be an athlete. I'm not good enough to be a teacher. What am I good enough to be? It's yeah, that was a really dark time. And I know there are worse things in life, and by all means, I'm very privileged, I know. And I'm grateful that I have my parents to fall back onto for the moment. But I mean, I don't want to always, have to do that. I want to stand on my own 2 feet. So yeah, I was trying to do some Zwift racing again. And yeah, that's where I got to speaking with Terry again. And he just absolutely believed in me from the start since the day we met. I have no words to describe how much he's done for me, even coming to South Africa twice to watch me and to help me at my national champs. And yeah, so basically he came to South Africa a few times, and the first time, at one point I felt guilty because I had a crash at that nationals, but on the other side, looking back now, I'm really glad he came because he got to meet my mother, which I come to in a second now. But yeah, so basically I tried everything. I applied for the TCA Strava grant. I applied for this one particular job that my dad was really keen on in Jeffreys Bay, a teaching position at a Christian school. And yeah, I actually got the position at the school, but at the same time, I also got the Strava grant. So I had like decisions to make. Like, I'm not guaranteed of a cycling life, but here I have a chance. I have a grant. I had a French team lined up that would essentially take me. I just had to self-fund everything. But on the other hand, here was a stable job offer, stable income, routine, which I thrive on, I guess. But at the end of the day, I chose to give cycling at least one more shot. I didn't want to look back one day and think, what if? And that's where Terry talked me into doing the Zwift Academy. I was like, been there, done that. I'm not doing it again. It's so freaking hard. But yeah, so I did the first workout. It was okay, but we had to lower my FTP. And then the second workout, I completely botched. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't even get halfway. And I was like, I'm done, Terry. I cannot. And then I had a really good race at 94.7, Joburg 94.7, and got second prize, which anyone from South Africa knows Joburg 94.7 is like the biggest prize money pot in road cycling in South Africa. And I thought, okay, if I can at least come top 3, then I could have a chance to pursue cycling in Europe if I had to fund it myself. So I got second. I was like, okay, well, there you go. I had the second place at Joburg 94.7. I had the bursary, the grant from the TCA Strava, and I have the French team lined up. I'm good to go. But then I got an email from the Zwift Academy people saying, listen, we'd really like to put you on the shortlist, but we see you've not really finished the workouts. Are you planning to do them, finishing them? And I was like, oh no. I was speaking with my coach, like, do I finish this or do we just I have a way back to Europe. But yeah, at the end of the day, he talked me into finishing it, and I'm really glad I did, because Zwift Academy winner of 2023/2024, I don't know, because it was in January of 2024. Literally like a birthday present, because my birthday was the day I arrived for the finals in Spain. Yeah, it was. To this day, I think it's the happiest I've ever been when I won that. It was awesome. I actually wish that the finals were longer, had more days, because it just felt like a great training camp. Like, I've never been so not stressed in my entire life. I just felt like this is for me. I got this. And I've never felt that way since, to be honest. But, hopefully in the coming years, I will get that feeling again. I don't know. But yeah, and then after winning Zwift Academy, I came back to South Africa, and literally that same weekend we had nationals. And I was privileged enough that both my mom and my dad were there to support me. My mom was my soigneur, making the food, giving me my bottles and stuff, but unfortunately I crashed out, broke my bike, dislocated some fingers, but I'm okay, all fingers still attached. But that's kind of where that evening my life took a turn. So we drove back to Bloemfontein from Joburg that day, and my mom was helping me clean up after, and that's when she told me that she had stage 4 breast cancer. Oh, I don't want to cry. So before this, my mom had been fighting stage 2, stage 3 breast cancer, but it was still localized in the breasts, but at this point it had really spread everywhere, and they had given her 2 to 5 years survival rate. And yeah, long story short, 3 weeks later she was gone, and my life has not been the same. I've not been the same Maddie ever since. Because basically that week the episodes of Zwift Academy aired was the same week, the last week my mom was with us. So the day the first episode aired, she was hospitalized, and the day I got announced as the winner was the day she got put on ventilation. It was literally the last day I ever spoke to her, or she ever spoke to us. And yeah, 2 weeks after her death, I was already in Europe racing my first race with Canyon SRAM Generation, which, okay, it sounds bad, but I was kind of running away from everything. But yeah, it started off good. I had a really good race. I ended up on the podium, but I felt like everything just kind of went downhill from there, mentally, and I started spiraling. Anyone who knows me knows that I love training, really, but it got so bad that there was a point that I just didn't want to get out of bed. I had no motivation. I just wanted to cry the whole time. But I know that I had to be okay around my teammates and my team because I didn't want to bring the atmosphere down, but I felt like I was just walking around with glassy eyes and a mask, So I guess that's where the hard part now comes in, talking about mental health. I was diagnosed with depression and got put on medication last year. But yeah, I thought it started going better, the medication was working. I felt like my head was screwed on straight again after a few months on the medication and working through some things at home. But this year, it's just gotten worse, and it sounds stupid, but maybe I've not really grieved her death so much. I don't know, not enough. My dad also got remarried, and I'm really happy for him, don't get me wrong, and I really like her, his wife, or I guess my new stepmother. But on the one hand, it's less than a year after my mom's death. And on the other side, it feels like I feel like I'm jumping all over the show here now, but it's like I don't know where I belong anymore, It's like I have a team house in Europe. I lived there for half of the year, and I'm currently back in South Africa, but this is not my home anymore, It's not the childhood home I remember. It's not my house anymore, it's my dad's house. and his wife's. And but anyway, going back to this season, I just felt like not good enough, and I found it really hard to believe in myself, and I just felt like I had shit luck, crashes, and I broke my shoulder a few months ago. It's better now, but that took me out for a couple of races. Training-wise, I've had the best numbers of my life, but I just seem to not be able to deliver in the races and use my power correctly. Like, as you can see, I really have good numbers, and I'm really proud of that, but I guess it was hard for me in races to really push past the red zone if I'm already in the red zone up here, And how do you explain this to people? Because when I say I'm not okay, the general response I get is, Maddie, life is beautiful. Think more positively. It's like, yes, I understand that, but sorry, no amount of positivity or positive thinking is going to get me out of depression. That's not how it works. So I'm going to admit something that I've only told a handful of people, is that those who follow me on Instagram probably saw that I went to Switzerland about 2 weeks before Ardèche to go and stay with my coach. But I guess the real reason behind that was this was probably one of my lowest points mentally. I had bad thoughts of hurting myself. Thankfully, I never acted upon anything, but I had bad thoughts, and I was scared. So we decided that maybe it'd be good if I go to my coach in Switzerland for a bit. And also my meds were increased, and I feel better now, thankfully. But I guess this is kind of a taboo subject. People don't really talk about this, or people don't really care. I don't know, it's like you tell people you're not okay, people ask you, how are you? Most of the time they don't really care, or if you tell them you're not okay, it makes people feel uncomfortable. So I've just always I started getting good at pretending I'm okay, but I wasn't okay. I was crying at night in my room by myself. Shit went down. But thankfully, I feel better now. I'm not out of the danger, I guess, but I'm doing better thanks to my psychologist, Dr. Kirsten van Heerden, and my coach, and some of the team have been really supportive. But now currently I find myself in a position where, because I guess it's not an excuse, but I think it adds to the fact that I've been struggling in races, that one, I'm too old to stay in the generation team, and two, I have no results. So I found myself in a position where I have no contract for next year. And don't get me wrong, I've been trying really hard, but that's where I find myself currently. So next step is it kind of excites me, maybe try gravel racing. But for that, I guess I'm looking at some gravel teams, but I guess first I need to do a few gravel races to actually show I can ride on gravel. But I know that most gravel racers in Europe a lot of them are privateers. So currently working on getting some sponsors. So if there are people out there or companies that it sounds like this is something they can get behind, please get in touch. That would be greatly appreciated, because I feel like I've come too far to only come this far. I've worked too hard to only come this far. I'm not ready to give up cycling. I've only been in this sport for freaking 4 years. I had a dream of winning the polka dot jersey in the Tour de France, femme avec Zwift, but obviously dreams have to change now. I mean, who knows? I can still go back to the road maybe one day, but for the moment, I guess the gravel kind of excites me because potentially I could be in charge of my own schedule. I can work with companies and brands that align with my values, and hopefully just get back the love for racing again. So yeah, I'm excited, kind of, but it also feels very overwhelming because I'm like, where the hell do I start? Like, okay, I get a salary still until December this year, but then I'm basically by myself. And it's like, shit, I'm 28 years old. Next year, 1st of January, I will be unemployed, and I'm not ready to give up on my dreams. So I have a lot of plans. We still need to, me and my coach and my team, we still need to go look at like what is actually plausible, what will work. But again, any people, any companies out there that want to work with me, please get in touch. I feel like I'm a very nice person, and I want to kind of show people that someone from Africa, South Africa, can make it in professional cycling in Europe. There are not many out there in Europe from Africa, and I'd like to show what is possible if you keep working and you have the attitude of never giving up, because I'm not ready to give up. Yes, I know I could get a stable job with a stable income here in South Africa, but I'm not ready for that, you know? I owe it to myself and to the people who supported me this far to try and see, can I still do this? Can I still maybe potentially get to the Tour de France? Can I still get to the Olympics? Because that's also still a dream. I always have this feeling of letting people down, and I'm scared, but I guess I also don't want to let myself down. And yeah, I want to show people that bikes can change your life. And I'd really like to be a role model people can look up to. But I mean, I also have role models, so yeah. So I started this YouTube channel. I don't know if it will be successful or not, but yeah, just to share my story, my journey, the highs and lows of being a professional rider or chasing the dream of being a professional rider. But my goal is to be authentically me. I don't want to pretend to be anyone else. I mean, if it's a shit day, I'm gonna tell you it's a shit day. If I'm going through a bad time, I will share that. But also the same, if something is going great, we'll share that. I mean, I just want to show professional athletes are humans as well, and I hope you enjoy the journey.